Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Shell's Biology Nest, and we were talking about the structure of DNA. I have already uploaded 3 videos under this topic, and in our last video we had talked about the structure of nitrogenous bases, tricks and tips how to remember the structures, and we also practiced how to draw them. After these basic things, we will proceed into higher concepts, like we will first talk about bonds, that is major types of bonds in double helix. So first of all, we will talk about phosphodiester bond, which you can see on your screen. So over here, I will tell you the meaning of this word phosphodiester, why it is called as diester, and what is its importance in framing the basic structure of DNA. So let's proceed. Phosphoric acid or phosphate molecules are the linking molecules. These are the linking molecules which help to join sugar molecules to form the backbone. As we have talked about, the backbone of DNA consists of sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate. So this phosphate molecule is the linking molecule, and it is acidic in nature and negatively charged, because of which the DNA is acidic and negatively charged. See, phosphoric acid, the basic structure is H3PO4, as you can see over here. If we will draw the structure, we will have this type of chemical structure. The valency of phosphorus is, as you all know, it is 5. So over here all the valency is satisfied, and in this structure we are having 3 ionizable hydrogen atoms. These are the 3 ionizable hydrogen atoms. Why we call them as ionizable hydrogen atoms? Because they can easily leave this molecule, and it can form bond, or it can form react with other molecules to form a bond. See over here, as you can see, this H, let me rub this one. This picture I have taken from Watson. So over here, see, Watson 7th edition, Molecular Biology of the Gene. See over here, this is the ionizable hydrogen. This is easily, this can easily leave this molecule and combine with this OH to form H2O, and because of this water which leaves this reaction, a phosphomonoester bond is formed. See over here, this is our sugar molecule, 2-deoxyribose, which we have already talked about. In case of DNA, the sugar molecule is 2'-deoxyribose. At the second prime, no oxygen is there, so we are having only HH. This is our first prime carbon, this is second prime carbon, this is third prime carbon, this is fourth prime carbon, and this is fifth prime carbon. So we have already talked about the structure of sugar in our previous videos, the link of which I will give in the description box. So this phosphate molecule, when combines with this OH of the sugar molecule, it forms a bond which is called as phosphomonoester bond. See over here, when this water molecule leaves this reaction, see over here, this P is present here also, this O is here, and this CH2 is here, but this H and OH has left this reaction as water molecule. So whenever a phosphate molecule or a phosphoric acid combines with the sugar molecule, a water molecule is lost. That is, this is a type of condensation reaction, and when this water molecule leaves this reaction, we get a bond formed which is called as phosphomonoester bond. See over here, this bond is our phosphomonoester bond. See, and this phosphoric acid will give H, and OH, sugar will give our OH. So this is our phosphomonoester bond. So in case of DNA, phosphodiester bond is formed. Where and how? See, this sugar is combined or is connected with another sugar by the means or by the help of one phosphoric acid molecule. See, if I will draw, this is sugar, and I will draw over here one phosphoric acid. So this is our molecule which will combine these two, or which will join these two sugars. So when this phosphoric acid will combine with this sugar first and this sugar first, in this way, by the loss of water molecule. So from here also one water molecule will be lost, from here also one water molecule will be lost, then only a phosphodiester bond will be formed. So the combination of these two phosphomonoester bonds give rise to phosphodiester bond. See, this is our sugar, this is our sugar. See, this is our phosphate molecule, and over here this is the monoester bond, this is the second monoester bond. So the combination of these two gives rise to phosphodiester bond. So see, this carbon number 1 prime, I have already told this is involved in the formation of glycosidic bond, that is a nitrogenous base joins with this sugar at this point, carbon number 1. So this is involved in glycosidic bond formation. The second carbon is having H and H, no OH is there. So now only we saw that sugar gives OH and H is provided by this phosphoric acid, and a water molecule is lost during the formation of phosphomonoester bond. So this second carbon will also not be involved in the formation of phosphomonoester bond. This third carbon number 3 prime, is having OH. This fourth carbon is having CH2OH and H, and this fifth carbon is having CH2OH. So of course only third carbon and fifth carbon are having OH to donate or to give while formation of phosphomonoester bond. So see, this phosphate molecule will try to form phosphomonoester bond with this sugar at third 3 prime carbon and with this sugar at the 5 prime carbon. As I have already told, phosphoric acid has 3 ionizable hydrogen atoms, because at these 3 places O is more electronegative than hydrogen. So it will attract the bonded pair of electron towards itself. This hydrogen can easily leave this molecule. So this hydrogen, let's suppose, combines with this OH and leaves the reaction as H2O. And from over here, this hydrogen, let's suppose, is combining with this OH, and they both leave the reaction as water. So at 2 places we are getting phosphomonoester bond. On this upper sugar we are having it on the 3 prime carbon, and this lower sugar at the 5 prime carbon. Now let's see what is an ester. An ester is RC double bond O R dash. This R can be an organic fragment. Okay. So this is our ester. In place of C, we can use either, anything can be present. Phosphorus can be present, sulfur, anything can be present. So let's suppose our phosphorus is present. So we will write RP double bond O R dash. So this is a phosphoester. This is an ester molecule with carbon, and this is a phosphoester molecule with phosphorus. So as these bonds are called as phosphodiester bond or phosphoester bond, so we have to search for this molecule, as this is our phosphoester molecule. So there are 2 phosphoester molecules formed, as a result of which we are having a phosphodiester. See, this P double bond O we have to search first. So this is P double bond O. So this is our first phosphoester. Similarly, P double bond O. This is our second phosphoester. Okay, and R dash you can, and as phosphorus is having 5 valency, so one OH will be also present. So this OH is there, and this R and OR dash, you can think of anything, like you can consider this as R and this as R dash. Anything you can consider. It is both the strands are anti-parallel to each other, and they have a different polarity. That is, they have different direction. If this is 5 prime, then this will be 3 prime. If this is 3 prime, this will be 5 prime. What does that mean? If this is 5 prime, let's suppose this strand, this strand is 5 prime. So 5 prime means the first sugar is having a phosphate molecule attached to the 5th carbon. That is, a phosphomonoester bond is formed at the 5th carbon of this sugar. So this chain is named as 5 prime at this end. Similarly, this chain, if has 3 prime written at this position, that means the last sugar is having a free OH group on the 3 prime position. This is the rule, okay? And if this strand, this strand is 3 prime to 5 prime, this 3 prime means this first sugar is having an OH molecule at 3rd position, and this 5 prime means this last sugar is having a phosphate molecule attached by the means of phosphomonoester bond with the 5th prime carbon of the sugar. So the meaning of 5 prime to 3 prime is this one, and this arises because of this phosphomonoester bond or phosphodiester bond formation. So I hope the concept of phosphodiester and monoester is clear. With this, we come to the end of this video. In our next video, we will talk about glycosidic bond, and I will give you the concept of hydrogen bond, so that in our upcoming video, we can talk about how the hydrogen bonds are formed between adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine, why only 2 between adenine and thymine, why 3 between guanine and cytosine, and why not between adenine and uracil or adenine or cytosine. So we will talk about these things in our 3rd video. So in 2nd video, we will talk about glycosidic bond, as well as I will give you the concept of hydrogen bond. Till then, keep watching, keep reading, be safe. Thank you.